was convicted today by R&B singer R.Kelly was convicted today by a federal grand jury in Brooklyn of all 9 counts of superseding indictment charging him with racketeering predicated on criminal conduct, including sexual exploitation of children, forced labor, and the Mann Act violations involving the coercion and transportation of women and girls in interstate commerce, to engage in sexual activity and illegal sexual activity. The verdict followed 6 weeks of trial before United States District Judge Ann M. Donnelly. So, guys, just so you guys know, for some of you guys that are wondering, how were the feds able to pick this shit up? The reason why, guys, is because the violations involving the coercion and transportation of women and girls in interstate commerce. See this magic word here, guys? Interstate commerce, right? This is your worst nightmare as a criminal right here. This is what gives the feds jurisdiction to go ahead and take over these types of investigations. Once he started using the phone to get girls to come and hang out with him, or using people to recruit the girls or whatever, and having them travel state lines and everything else like that, boom, now the feds can come in and do the investigation. And we know when the feds come, it's going to be a bad time for you, more than likely. All right. Jacqueline Kasoulis, acting United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, so that's the top prosecutor, all right? And Peter C. Fitzberg, Special Agent in Charge, Homeland Security Investigations, New York, announced the verdict. See, so how do I remember, guys? I always teach you guys this. When you come over to the main thing on USDOJ.gov and you're reading these articles, always look at who. It doesn't matter who the U.S. attorney is, because every jurisdiction has a U.S. attorney. But to figure out which agency actually did the investigation, it's the first person that makes the announcement. So in this case, it was HSI New York that did the case. These are the same guys that did the 6ix9ine case as well, HSI New York. And then today's guilty verdict forever brands R. Kelly as a predator who used his fame and fortune to prey on the young, the vulnerable, and the voiceless for his own sexual gratification, stated acting U.S. Attorney Kasoulis. A predator who used his inner circle to ensnare underage teenage girls and young women and men for decades in a sordid web of sexual abuse, exploitation, and degradation. Yes, he did actually abuse a man as well, a boy, allegedly, guys, according to the indictment and the trial. The victims in this case, your voices were heard and justice was finally served. We hope that today's verdict brings some measure of comfort and closure to the victims. Ms. Kasoulis also thanked the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois and the Cook County State Attorney's Office for their assistance with the case. Remember, guys, they had all the original documents. As proven at trial, for nearly 3 decades, Kelly was a leader of a criminal enterprise, the Enterprise, consisting of himself and an entourage of individuals who served as managers, bodyguards, accountants, drivers, personal assistants, and runners for the defendant. As a leader of the Enterprise, Kelly used his fame to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal sexual activity with him. Kelly identified these girls and women at concerts and then directed members of the Enterprise to escort them backstage following his musical performances. Kelly exchanged contact information with girls and women so that he and other members of the Enterprise could arrange travel and lodging for them to visit Kelly and engage in the charged illegal sexual conduct. See, this is where Kelly fucked up right here. This is what all music artists do, by the way, guys. Fucking any big music artist that you know, this is what they do. They don't go up to the girl themselves and talk to them. They always get their member of their entourage to go and talk to the girl for them. Hey, you want to come backstage? You want to chill, whatever it may be. And this is to protect, the artist from, looking thirsty or anything like that, right? Protect his image. However, where Kelly fucked up here was he was doing this shit with underage fucking girls, man. Now, a lot of these girls, he would promise the parents that he would go ahead and help them with their music career, make them famous, get them some exposure, whatever it is. And that's where he fucked up. If these were of age women, he would have been fine. But he had to do it with young girls, which is why he's suffering the consequences that he's facing now. The evidence at trial included the testimony of 45 government witnesses.
Gotcha, bitch.
Like, holy fuck.
Oh, shit.
Including more than 10 victims, 5 of whom are named in the superseding indictment. Not to mention, guys, the government had a bunch of people that were on his staff that testified against him. Okay, people that worked for him, his own family, his accountant, all these people testified against Kelly that he was basically running an organization to conceal his criminal activity, which is why they were able to come at him for the racketeering and saying it was an enterprise. You have anything on that, Denise?
No.
You don't want to? Oh, okay.
No, I don't.
Okay. Here, can you put some water in this bad boy for me, please?
Yeah.
So Text messages, video and audio recordings, photographs, phone and travel records, DNA evidence, and expert witnesses. Kelly issued rules that many of his sexual partners were required to follow, including that the women and girls were to call him daddy. They were not permitted to leave their homes or to their rooms to eat or visit the bathroom without receiving his permission. They were required to wear baggy clothes when not accompanying Kelly to an event, and they were directed to keep their heads down and not look at or speak to other men. Kelly also isolated the women and girls from their friends and family and made them dependent on him for their financial well-being. He required the victims to engage in sex with him and others and recorded many of the sexual encounters. Fucking holy shit.
Stupid.